What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Pokey Office. My name is Colin, joined alongside my friends MoffDawg and Blakestoise. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello, sirs.
So anticlimactic there. We are live on the Pokey Office YouTube channel, and we're also available to listen after hours on my YouTube channel and on all podcast platforms. I say that every week, but I mean, I feel like, Zach, is the podcast actually growing or what?
I'll have to take a look, but I think so.
Sweet. I love that. So
the first, 10 uploads weren't strong, but I think we're getting like 40 to 50 downloads a episode now.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I don't hate that at all. And our resident expert eBay seller, Blakestoise, was on CBC radio this week. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea how they found out about me. I'm going to assume it was probably some of the media I got after that eBay award, but CBC's The Current, their producer, reached out to me and invited me on to chat a little bit about Pokemon's 30th anniversary. So obviously I accepted, and yeah, it was a bit of a unique experience. It was no video, it was audio only, and it aired on the radio, and then you can download the podcast now. And I didn't know this when I accepted, but Denarion also got to go on as well. She was the other invitee, so we got to kind of chat back and forth for 10 or 12 minutes about what Pokemon means to us and what business is like in the Pokemon space.
Cool.
Yeah, with CBC, it's a different audience, right? It's an older demographic, so you're kind of like, I had to stop myself a couple times to kind of bring it back to the basics. We throw out terms, even like PSA or, TCG, like nobody knows what that stuff means, all these acronyms. So that took a little bit of just conscious thinking about, I guess. But yeah, it was a fun experience, something different, something I've never really done before.
And sales have skyrocketed since.
No, but I did
get
a call.
All the grannies flocked to Blakestoise TCG.
I had one phone call today, and I'm not going to say anything more about that, but they're interested in showing me an old collection in the garage because they heard me on the radio. So cool. They're not local to me, though, so it's not as easy as it sounds, but I'm going to try and foster this relationship.
That is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet. What about you, MoffDawg? What have you been up to the last week since we chatted last?
eBay. And I spent a lot of time, a lot of hours sorting bulk. Because
Awesome.
I do not have a Roka.
eBay life, baby.
Yeah, pretty much.
So come find your non-hollows in the next week or two.
How many Pokepads did you come across?
I haven't even gotten to modern yet. I'm still Sword Shield.
There's like one Pokepad per case of Ascended Heroes, one or two. Like they're hard to find.
Yeah. I've been telling Kevin's a little bit high listing right now. So I told him like there's going to be more Pokepads in perfect order, I think. So you better get these sold to lower the price a little bit.
Did you mean he's high and he's listing, or his listing price is high?
No comment.
Okay.
Just kidding. Listing price is high.
How much are they?
I think he had them on like for $19.99, which is absurd. But I bet you what happened. This is my guess because I didn't actually talk to him about it, but I bet you he was using TCG Automate where it like lists all the standard prices. And I bet you he listed it the week that it came out. So
yeah,
it would have just been high and then hasn't repriced since. So
reverse hollows were selling for close to that for a while, so we could have priced it that way too.
Yeah. I'm probably actually giving you the reverse hollow price.
Yeah.
But
I heard they were like $27 like a while back, and I thought that was crazy. But
I listed one at $20, a reverse hollow, like, I don't know, a week after the set came out, and I got a very angry message about how I'm destroying the TCG by listing my Pokepad at $20. So I blocked said user. And they also said they will never order from me again, and they were not a repeat buyer. They said they'd never order from me again, and I looked at their history, and they hadn't ordered from me in the last 2 years, which is all I can see on eBay. So I don't know what they're trying to pull. But
wow, newsflash: vendor list price at market. Market outrage.
At worst, it was like $3 above market at the time.
Tonight on Rattle at 7. Pokepad.
Here I am.
$20.
Blakestoise ruining the hobby by listing Pokepads for $2 over market. It sold, so I don't know.
Perfect. I love that. What perfect order comes out 17 days from now? 2.5 weeks.
Nice.
Yep.
So a few things I want to bring to the attention. Excuse me, I'm getting sick of everyone. It's gross. Let's see here. I'll just get my screen up on Poke Beach. We talked about Pokemon Wind and Waves last time. Where is it here? I'm really excited about this Mega Lucario EX League Battle deck that I'm going to get like 100 of.
The dark side of Grogan allocation.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that, Bill.
I don't know if you guys have seen this, but the figurines that have come out in Japan look actually so awesome in my opinion.
Oh, interesting.
They're sick. Is there any difference to the card, or is it just the standard card from the set? That was not clear to me, but I'm sure somebody knows.
I think it's just the standard card. Like, I haven't done a ton of research into this. I just saw it on X earlier this weekend, and I thought these looked so cool.
I don't see a stamp, and it looks like the non-holos are non-holo.
Yeah.
And the Gengar is the same foiling. I love that they did the Gengar just like it.
Does it actually come with the card too? Like, I haven't read anything.
I think it's supposed to. Yeah, I think it does.
Okay.
I think that'll keep the price down if there's no unique variant of the card, which could help people wanting to get their hands on those.
Each box will include a Pokemon card 151 card, matching figurine, and a card display frame.
That's cool.
Secret 13th figure will be the illustration rare Machoke. Is that not awesome? Like, there's a blind box aspect of it.
Oh, it's a blind box too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I mean, to me, this is as cool as it gets. I hope they do something like this in English as well, but I doubt they will.
That's so cool. Yeah, as if English would do something that cool.
Anyways, I thought that was super cool, just if no one had seen that yet. And the other big piece of news came out yesterday. Aura Seeker set name was trademarked or discovered trademark. And based on the article, I read this one yesterday. I don't think he knows exactly, but he's speculating that potentially because Winds and Waves comes out 2027, Aura Seeker might still be in the Mega Evolution block. So anyways, this is the Japanese schedule. May 22nd is Abyss Eye, featuring Darkrai. July 31st, Storm Emeralda, which is Rayquaza. And starter set EX decks. That usually gets included in one of our sets, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
One of our main sets. And then Celebration Collection, somewhere in that September-October range is what I've been reading. And then Aura Seeker maybe could be like a January set or something like that. But he also goes on to say something like, where is it here? Lately, trademarks have been revealed out of order and sometimes up to a year ahead of schedule. So it's not like, not for sure, but I thought that was kind of cool.
I mean, they're going to have what, 2, 3, maybe sets of Mega into 2027. Like, even if Wind and Waves releases, let's say February or March of 2027, we talked about this before, but they don't release the sets right to line up with the release of a game. There's usually like 1 or 2 sets left in the previous generation. Yeah. So I would assume we have at least another year of sets for Mega.
Seems that way. And what's perfect order is, like, if we're speculating that there's going to be 6 total sets in 2026, 2 specialty sets and 4 main sets or whatever, what's been typical the last few years, Ascended Heroes was number 1, Perfect Order number 2, Chaos Rising number 3, and then Abyss Eye number 4, Storm Emeralda number 5, Celebration number 6. Like, that's all. We kind of already have some good speculation of what's going to lead the charge for 2026. So,
yeah, looks exciting.
That's all I have to share.
That's it. Oh man, Pokemon is dead.
Yeah.
Should we talk about Yu-Gi-Oh?
I know nothing about Yu-Gi-Oh, to be honest with you.
Well, that new Japanese set came out, right? I guess there's 2 of them. One came out and one's coming out in a week or 2.
You're asking the 2 wrong people here, Zach.
I
have no idea.
You were on CBC. You're supposed to know Yu-Gi-Oh.
To talk about a very different franchise than Yu-Gi-Oh.
Or like on Thursday night, a few people in my live stream were chatting about the SpongeBob cards, the Topps cards.
That just came up in store today. Somebody bought a box and he wants me to like rip it on stream. I don't even stream. It was weird.
I haven't seen those.
Those actually look super cool.
Is it Topps Chrome?
I don't know. I don't know
something.
much about it, but
they're extremely expensive now. I believe, if I remember right, it's just like they printed once. It was one print. They're not going to reprint them again. And some of the chase cards, like they're numbered, but some of the chase cards are well into the 5 figures.
Topps Chrome, SpongeBob, and there's like people were calling them illustrations. It's like Doodle Bob sketches, and these are apparently going for huge money.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can't. Topps has done this for a long time though.
I don't know.
Personally, I would love a Doodle Bob.
I wish I had it right now. I don't know where I put it, but somebody came into the shop today and submitted those dictator cards. Have you seen them? Like Osama bin Laden, Saddam Hussein. And he gifted me a Saddam Hussein. So I'll put that on the shelf when I find it. I thought that was very kind.
Is it because of your mustache or?
Maybe. He didn't say, but now that you say it, maybe.
The resemblance is uncanny.
Okay, let's leave it at the mustache.
So in other news for Pokemon, back to basics here. My perfect order allocation came in on Friday, I believe, and waived release. If you haven't heard that yet, I think that's going to be standard for the upcoming future anyways for Pokemon. But what I found really interesting, and I made a video about it yesterday, is that my booster box allocation basically stayed exactly the same from Phantasmal Flames. My booster bundle is up like 75%. My ETBs is up in that same range, like 60 to 70%. So like I spent a lot over the last 3 months. So I was expecting my allocation to at least be just as good, but probably a little bit better. And I guess in the grand scheme of things, my allocation is better, but booster boxes continue to be that like source of, I don't even know what the word is, but it just feels more and more like Pokemon is striving away from booster boxes and more towards getting SKUs into the hands of their customers. Like booster boxes are really, really a collectible item these days.
Yeah. That's weird. Like 75% up on the others though.
Yeah. Yeah. Substantial.
Wow. So do you think they cut their booster box production by like 30% or something?
I don't know. Like, I don't know what that means. I've like a few of the comments that I saw on that video also say that their booster box allocation is stayed right in line with the last couple releases, and other stuff is up as well. So it's not just me. I also like, I don't want to say that I'm the resident expert here because I'm still trying to grow my allocation a little bit. Like I've still been spending, I've still been buying restocks and stuff like that. So it's not like I had the exact same 3-month spend over the last 3 months as I did the 3 months previous to that. Right. So my allocation probably changed because of that too. Like it's not just, it's hard to compare apples to oranges is what I'm trying to say.
But, Colin, we share a distro, and I know when they were doing a live stream, he had mentioned that Pokemon is cutting the amount of booster boxes out there, and they're, like you just said, trying to get packs into more people's hands by pushing the smaller products that have fewer packs inside of them and making a booster box, you know, essentially a collectible item, or for those, you know, big whales who want to open a whole bunch of packs at the same time or rip a case at the same time. So it does seem conscious, and based on, you know, what you're saying with your allocation history, that probably checks out. Right, if ETBs are growing, or, you know, we've been seeing a lot more collection boxes, a lot more tins and bigger volume. Seems like that's kind of the method that they're really pushing and trying to use to get those packs in people's hands.
Yeah,
I'd be interested to know what, because you said other people have commented that have distro and said that their booster box allocation's the same, right? So I'm curious what their spend has been like. Otherwise, it's really hard to compare, right?
it is for sure.
Like if their spend was sort of the same period over period versus yours, which probably has gone up, would find it weird that yours stayed the same still while theirs did.
But in distro size, I don't know that would count as the same, right? If they're giving you 60 to 70% more of another product, right? It's just not booster boxes.
Maybe that's what they're offsetting with.
Yeah. Booster boxes are the premium product. We all want as many of those as we can for an allocation. But I mean, if Pokemon's limiting those, then they're going to go to giving you a ton more ETBs or a ton more booster bundles or whatever. That's really their only option.
I'm just looking through my comments here, see if I can find some. One guy was mad at me because I didn't actually share my numbers. So he said, I'll just.
Did he share them with you? Oh,
yeah, he did actually.
That's crazy.
Hopefully y'all can read this. I'll read it out as well. Just say the number of boxes you're getting. Don't gatekeep the numbers. I own a store and spend about $750,000 a year on products across all TCGs, and I got allocated 72 booster boxes, 56 bundles. So just be forthcoming. It makes you look like you're hiding things. Also, I'll be selling product to my customer base at MSRP, unlike you guys online who like to squeeze every penny from people. So
he seems nice.
At least he's playing his name. Yeah,
that's right.
Good for you, exactly. Angry.
Angry, are you watching? Do you want to come on here and chat about things?
Yeah, we can have you live on here.
Do we want to do a 90-minute therapy session for this guy? Really?
I said congrats on being a saint selling at MSRP. So
I hope he sells at MSRP when market is below MSRP.
Same.
Why would you share your numbers? Like, you could be doing your distro or causing your distro a headache.
There's just zero reason for me to share that and have more scrutiny on myself, right? Like,
and then people call your distro and say, why does he get this
more? So you know, you can go on my website and see that I still have stuff available. So getting 75% more is a pretty substantial amount. Like, I've given you lots of information. There was one more comment, but I don't know where it went. Same here. Got similar numbers for booster boxes, more ETBs, and other small products. So
maybe they just ramped up capacity, but they focused on printing the other products and keeping their booster boxes the same.
We've said it a million times, but it makes total sense to, if you're going to get 36 packs printed, why not have 6 different products to sell rather than 1? Like, the odds of it reaching 6 customers instead of 1 is bigger when you have 6 booster bundles. Not saying that people won't buy all 6, but there's still a chance to get it out to more people.
Yeah, booster boxes haven't been used for their intended sale purposes for decades, really.
Yeah, for sure. But it's really, like, if we want to dive deep into this, it's really got me thinking, because usually the Thursday prior to release on my live stream, I like to do a booster box break. And it's like, with my current numbers, I'm still going to do that a little bit, but it feels almost sacrilege to be ripping booster boxes, honestly. Like, it's just,
you almost need to break down product. So
why not? Yeah, just have packs of everything else and keep those booster boxes at a premium. As a business model, it makes no sense to rip open those booster boxes.
No.
But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Blake, do you think your store is going to be getting into, like, are people wanting to buy a booster box from you to rip, or are they wanting to buy a booster box from you to keep sealed?
I think it's usually to rip in general, even like the more expensive boxes a few months after release. I think there's very few people. This is just my store. I can't speak to the other demographics, but the people who come in tend to love to rip. I don't want to call it a problem, but you know, they love to, they just open everything. Like, very rarely does somebody say they're keeping that sealed. Very rarely do they buy an acrylic for me to go with the booster box, right? It just doesn't happen a lot from my vantage. And I think with Perfect Order, like, the people, it hasn't been too in demand. Like, don't get me wrong, way more people were calling me or coming to the store asking about Ascended Heroes before released, obviously. But I think the people who do want to get into Perfect Order right on day one, I think they're just buying like 1 box to rip or something. Like, I don't know. I don't think anybody's keeping it behind this early that I talked to. Whereas Ascended, people will buy an ETB and they're like, what should I do? Should I keep this sealed? Even on day one. So just different mentalities, I think, with these sets.
I would say maybe 20% buy to hold, says Matt. I think the number is way lower than that, to be honest with you.
For modern sets, for sure, I think it's lower.
Yeah. I think in the tunnel vision of YouTube and on Instagram and on all of this stuff, like, I think it's vastly overestimated how many people keep things sealed. The typical Pokemon consumer loves to rip open a couple packs.
and they often rip on the spot. Like for me at the store, like they're ripping right there. They're not even taking it home. Like they just can't wait, right? Like it happens all the time. I had 2 Ascended ETBs ripped today. I had 2 Charizard tints. Like, that's just what people want to do. So I think you're totally right. Like we see these Instagram reels and it's all, everybody has their amazing sealed collections like Zach behind him there. But like in the grand scheme of things with everybody that's into Pokemon, that's such a small percentage.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I think when they buy like some of the older stuff, it's usually to keep sealed.
Yeah.
But the more recent stuff in the last year, I feel like for the most part, they're ripping.
But that's still like even the older stuff, like people are ripping it. I'd sold a Lost Origin box in my store last week and he bought it to rip for like a birthday.
Oh, no.
So I mean,
That's an expensive mistake.
That's one less box on the market. Once that opens up, I'm gonna sell it. I'm not gonna tell him what to do with the box that he buys. But I mean, it's again, even people are buying older boxes. Even if the chase, like to pay for that Lost Origins box, you'd have to get the Giratina and it would have to grade a 10, and then you'd make a profit on it.
Yeah.
But people just love to rip. Doesn't matter.
When I was selling Lost Origin, Fusion Strike, Evolving Skies and stuff, booster boxes, I always ask them, and they always tell me that they're keeping it sealed. Which is,
There's definitely a turning or a tipping point where people will buy a box. Like at some point it reaches the age where now this is a collectible, not a ripping functionality, even though people do still rip old things. Like I've met people too who would rip open a Fusion Strike or a Lost Origin booster box just because, well, I used to do that and you still have one and it's kind of worth the fun cost of doing so. So
a lot of it depends too, like obviously what the chase is in the set, right? Like if there's a chase that can outweigh the cost of the box, if you pull it, I think you're going to see a lot more of that product being ripped. Hence why I think people are dipping into their 151. Matt's chatting about it there. The 150 UPCs are still being sold to rip because now the Charizard and Venusaur and Blastoise all of a sudden, outweigh the cost of a lot of products. So people are still going to take a chance on it. Whereas before, when the market was a lot cooler a couple of weeks ago on those, nobody's opening the 151 because it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting enough too, when I was like first really diving deep into YouTube, I was watching a lot of Pokevault. This was at the time of like Evolving Skies, Fusion Strike kind of range. So 2021 and 22. And man, he was ripping open boxes of like Unified Minds and Team Up and Cosmic Eclipse every single stream. And people were paying $50 a pack back then, and it didn't make any difference because it was like they wanted the Lovebirds or they wanted Misty's Favor or they wanted the Arceus Dialga Palkia card or whatever. Like, so it's just no different. There's lots of people who have lots of money that they don't mind spending on Pokemon packs ripping open. So
at what point does it become something where you're selling the pack and not a booster box anymore, though? Right.
I think that's probably a good question to ask. And I would think Lost Origin is probably nearing that point, right? Like, not too many people have. What's Lost Origin? 1,100 Canadian, 1,000 Canadian.
About that, I think it was about 1,000 last week when we looked, somewhere in that ballpark.
So, like, I doubt there's a ton of people out there willing to spend 1,000 to rip 36 packs of it, but there's definitely people willing to gamble the $50 per pack.
Totally. Yeah. Hey, can I give a quick shout out? Wade just commented. That is my post office dude. He's the dude who runs the counter at the local Shoppers post office, and he is a homie.
Wicked.
He's always helping me out, always looking out for me. So what up, Wade? Thanks for joining. Appreciate it.
Yeah, welcome here. Thanks for watching.
What up, Wade?
Let's give a couple other shout outs in the chat. DGen Rips is looking for my code red 0 sugar, not in stock anywhere. Shocking. I mean, I tried to order it from like the store in town that buys American Pop, and they can't find it either. So
is that Tumbleweed?
No, the Canco on the North Shore ordered
really?
Baja Blast 0 sugar Mountain Dew.
Wow, cool.
You don't want to know. You probably do want to know how much I paid for one case of pop.
Well, no, you. I mean, that might make Angry Mountain Dew happy, but
yeah. It was $24 plus tax for one case, so still cheaper than driving to Washington. And
how much is in a case? Like a 12?
Yeah,
that's $2 a can.
It's $2
That's not terrible.
25 per pop. Like, yeah, I don't mind. Like, it's a treat, right? I have one a week or two a week max. So, Gudetama is here, the hero we all need. I don't remember what that was talking about, but
That was the
welcome
angry
here.
TCG conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds about right. Who else is here? Snack Time's here. What's up, dog? Young Ty's here. Keep everything sealed until a few pints with the boys. Well, you all know what a few pints with the boys does to us.
I would be down. That's when I will rip next. Is if we
a
all
few
have
pints with the boys.
we have
Nice.
pints and we start ripping.
We'll do a live Syndicate from a Kamloops pub. We'll drive out. We'll bring a whole bunch of vintage sealed with us.
Oh wow.
That sounds absolutely awesome. Did I ever tell you guys that one of my big supporters, Keith, bought me 5 first edition Fossil heavy packs to rip at Card Party?
Yeah. You got the error, right?
The cigar stain.
Damn.
Is it
What is
Hitmonlee?
it?
What was it?
Hitmonlee, yeah. Is it Hitmonlee?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always confuse it with Kabutops for some reason, but it's the Hitmonlee.
Now I'm confused.
They look almost identical, so that's understandable.
Yeah. I'm
Is it Hitmonlee,
95%
Blake?
sure
Now I'm
it's
confused.
For
Hitmonlee.
the cigar,
Yeah.
Google is our friend here.
No, you got to know off the top of your head.
It's Hitmonlee for sure.
Yeah, it's him only.
Nice.
And the guy at Pokemon Network said it's the biggest cigar stain he's ever seen out of a pack. So
Yeah,
kinda
there's
cool.
the Haunter ink hair. Actually, oh, I did have one. It's not right beside me. It's pretty sweet though. That Haunter ink hair is so cool.
This is awesome. A few store managers looking.
Damn. Dijon's on it.
Yeah. Gotta love the code red 0 sugar. Blake just answered that. There is. How long do I have to hold sealed for until I'm no longer a scalper and instead an investor?
Depends who you ask, I guess.
I
I got called a scalper listing a Fusion Strike booster box, so
Personally,
like
the
the
only
past
thing that
break
bugs
here.
me, like, I don't care if people are willing to make a quick buck flipping, but the thing that bugs me is like seeing Facebook Marketplace posts of a Costco drop and they didn't even make it home. It's like
Yeah.
in their car. Like, really?
Mhm.
You're that lazy?
Yeah.
That's
I think yeah, my rule of thumb is with that. It's if it's only available at one store, whether it's Costco or the Pokemon Center, and all you're doing is buying it so somebody else can have it and then trying to make a profit, that's
Yeah.
sort of what draws the line. But if it's like a booster box of a new set and market dictates a certain price, I don't necessarily know that you're a scalper. You can question whatever morals you want if that's your concern. But I mean, for a booster box that you can get anywhere, that feels different to me than hoarding a specific product from a specific store.
My rule for the Costco stuff is I will buy the Costco stuff and it will go in my closet, and I will not even attempt to sell it for at least a year. And normally I'll break it down and then sell the stuff down the road, like the ETB and stuff like that. I will
Seems
not be
legit.
going home from Costco to list something on Facebook Marketplace. It just will not happen.
Yeah, seems legit. I also buy the Costco stuff. Obviously, Costco Colin was a thing. But
Is a thing.
it still is.
Mhm.
That's fine. I'm okay with it. I certainly don't list that stuff on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
Occasionally, I list it on the website because there's some American people who want it because it's already either sold out on American marketplaces or it hasn't hit American marketplaces yet. And then, of course, I have a little bit of a different situation because I got my stream on Thursdays, so I rip open the pack sometimes. But at the same point, I usually do a Colin's deal of the week. So if I get a Costco drop, it's not like I'm charging full market price. Like I was selling those black and white boxes for a lot cheaper than your typical streamer, just to be able to have some fun with everyone and give people the opportunity. So I don't feel that bad about that, to be honest with you.
Nope.
I've seen pictures of the palette. Yeah, it's just terrible. But I guess in the grand scheme of things, Costco gives people the opportunity to be lazy. Like Prismatic Evolutions was a double your money opportunity literally the second you paid for it. You didn't see that kind of shenanigans happen with the Unova black and white boxes because it was more like a gain 25% profit. there was not nearly as much hype around the black and white boxes compared to Prismatic. Prismatic was a double your money opportunity, and that brings out the nut lows of life. That's my opinion on that.
Someone asked about One Piece.
Yeah, where is that up a little bit? I think.
Yeah, it's up a little bit.
Oh yeah, John Michael, what do you guys think about One Piece? Zach, you sound like you want to answer that.
I still really like it. I think the artwork is awesome and more geared towards adults, which is really cool. And I'm very happy that prices are coming down. I think if we come down and stabilize, I will be a big buyer of One Piece. I'm currently looking at a lot of One Piece and trying to get it, but we'll see what happens there. And if I do get it, I'll show you guys. But it's some cool stuff, including a manga, so that's nice.
Before Blake answers, like, what have you had much success selling One Piece at the card shows you've ended at?
Yeah, so I don't typically sell it necessarily myself, but when Ryan's with me, I'll give him my One Piece stuff, and I let him just run the One Piece part of our table because he knows a little bit more. And I just say, you go with it. If you're taking trades in, I'm fine taking trades in. These are sort of my percents, and we just go from there. And he'll get me buying opportunities and trade opportunities and stuff, and it moves pretty good. I found at Kelowna quite a few people were asking if I had One Piece this time, and I didn't because he wasn't with me. But I bought a few One Piece cards for sure.
It definitely seems like it's still on the rise in terms of popularity to me. And I think we're going to start seeing more tables, not so Pokemon heavy at card shows, but there's going to be some other TCGs available coming in the near future, I think.
I think that would just be good for everyone to have a little variety too.
Blake, you want to chime in?
Dragon Ball.
I mean, I don't I've never proclaimed to be a One Piece expert. I just don't know a lot about it. I never watched it when I was younger. My thoughts have always been like Pokemon's so rooted in nostalgia, no matter what the era, there's always some grassroots nostalgia there driving it. And I know One Piece has it. I'm not that naive. I know there's a lot of people that are very nostalgic, but I've always been of the mind that it doesn't, it's just not even close to the level that Pokemon was. In fact, we've had this conversation a few times on the podcast. And I think that's really at the root of it, what's keeping Pokemon going so long. And I just wonder if that's there long-term for One Piece in the same way. I think like anything, it's a fandom. It's already been around for so long. It's not like it's just going to disappear. It'll be here in some capacity until, we all die. Like we're all going to have memories of it. There'll be some level of nostalgia, but does it have enough to push it into the spheres that Pokemon has gotten into and like that cultural widespread recognition that Pokemon is? That's my only thoughts. Like for sure, there's going to be 5 and 6 figure cards. Like you'll still have that upper end. You'll still have people that want to pay for the extremes that have a lot of disposable income. But can it, is there going to be One Piece specific shops in the way that, I'm running a Pokemon specific shop and I do fine, right? I don't know. Maybe it just from the outside, it seems like that's more of a stretch. And probably more of a stretch for any franchise besides Pokemon. I think Pokemon's in a world of its own.
Yeah, I think I probably agree with that. The one, like, if I was playing devil's advocate, I would say I don't think people would have expected to run a Pokemon only business 4 years after the TCG released in 1999 either.
That's true, but the franchise was still very new at the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, One Piece has been around for so long. Yeah, the TCG is relatively new, but I think those people who feel those nostalgic feelings already exist and they're already out there. And you may add like a few new ones who are like kids getting into it now or what have you. But again, it's not on the level and not even close. It's not even in the same conversation as Pokemon from an outsider looking in. I might be totally naive. But just look at the news articles about Pokemon. Look at all the celebrities who talk about Pokemon all the time, who, that's part of their life too. And you just don't see that again on the same level in the same sphere as Pokemon. You get it a little bit. There's anecdotal stories for sure, but it's not anywhere near what Pokemon is.
Yeah. I think the big ticket is that like when we were all young and Pokemon was releasing, it was like super cool, right? Everyone thought it was cool. Even the girls thought it was cool. Like it wasn't some nerdy thing. And then maybe like partway through it became a little bit nerdy and people didn't like it nearly as much when I was like a teenager and that kind of age. But right now, like my viewpoint on the world is that if you like One Piece, you're kind of a nerd. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Yeah, like I don't think that's a bad thing, but being at school every day, most of the kids who are into like Dungeons and Dragons or Magic or that kind of stuff, they're not the super popular kids.
I think Pokemon has established itself as a lifestyle brand in a way that no other franchise has. And you've got the games. People might like anime is its own thing, and it takes somebody, to have a unique a draw to that, I guess, to like an anime. And One Piece is really heavily built on that foundation. Whereas Pokemon, I didn't even really watch a ton of the show growing up. Like we were rewatching with my daughter. And we got to episode like 40, and I didn't recognize any of it. But yeah, I play the games like crazy. I play, obviously had a ton of cards. That was huge for me. So it's just got so many different avenues for people to build those ties with that One Piece never really established back when it came out, at a similar time that Pokemon did. Anime is cool, but you're right. It's nerdy, and that's not an insult. We all consider ourselves nerds here, but it is nerdy in a way that Pokemon has sort of ascended beyond that, right? Like it's anybody's a Pokemon fan. Doesn't matter. I saw a clip of Kim Kardashian walking through a show with her kids, right? Like it's everywhere.
Yeah.
I will say though that One Piece as a brand has creeped closer towards the lifestyle stuff you're talking about on the Pokemon side than any other TCG or property.
That might be true, but it's still like it's down here, and then Pokemon's like
it is
way up here.
But we can't compare it to Pokemon, right? But I mean,
well, that's what we're doing on this. They're all TCGs.
You just asked what we think about One Piece.
That's true. That's true. I like it. I don't know. It's just not.
It's already more collectible than Magic. It just is.
Yeah,
Magic is always hinged on gameplay. Magic does have highly expensive older cards for sure, but in terms of collectability, way more people grade and collect One Piece, in my opinion, than Magic the Gathering cards. We all have nostalgia probably for Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Or is it just me? No,
maybe just you. Yeah,
just me. Yu-Gi-Oh and Dragon Ball. I have tons of nostalgia for it, but I don't have nostalgia for One Piece, and I like the One Piece cards more. So I think there's an argument there, at least in North American culture, that One Piece is trending and branching out more. But I think in Asia it already was sort of a firmly established brand with the various avenues and things like that, right? Like now you see lamps and stuff in Canada that you can buy that are One Piece branded lamps. Like just as an example, like with the show, the live action on Netflix and stuff like that, and the card game, I think it's creeping into North American culture. So I don't think it'll ever come close to Pokemon in terms of collectability and numbers, but I think it could easily be the number 2 TCG in the world in 5 years.
Yeah, I think that's a spot that's up for grabs for sure. Like, I don't think anything's established itself as the obvious number 2. It was probably Magic for a while. It felt like Lorcana when the first couple sets came out that it could be that. But I really think that's what these TCGs are fighting for. It's probably more in line with Dragon Ball, right? When you talk about, there's nostalgia, it's based on an anime, it's in people's lives, but it's just not in the culture the way Pokemon is. I feel like they're kind of in the same vein.
Yeah.
Just to play off what you just said there for a second, like, do you think that Magic, like, let's pretend that you're the CEO of Magic the Gathering right now. Do you think you're happy with where Magic the Gathering is currently sitting?
That's a loaded question because I think financially it's actually doing quite well with all these crossover sets. So I think it's doing better than ever. But I think when you look at what we just talked about with all these TCGs being so heavily collected in a way that Magic isn't, I feel like they definitely would assume that there's money being left on the table there, and that's why they're doing serialized cards and they're doing, some different creative things, but they still have a long way to go, even to catch up to One Piece. You're right, Zach. Like, One Piece has taken over that mantle, and Magic doesn't really touch it.
That's what's
interesting. If I was hired as the CEO, I would not be happy with where Magic is, but their current CEO is happy just because of the financials. Yeah. But what they've done is they've been killing, honestly, and jeopardizing the long-term health of their game that is hinged on gameplay, and they've basically alienated formats so that they're no longer fun to play. They've banked on a format called Commander, but they keep trying to like power creep and introduce these new decks every year and even every 2 months that are like the new thing. that people have to go buy so that they can have a competitive deck. And then all these branching out that they're doing with the licensing, I think they're just completely diluting their brand, and they're a little lost and just trying to get as much income as they can. And there was a lawsuit filed against them for what they called parachuting secret layer drops out in the public, just so that their bigger company Hasbro could meet some of its financial goals. And so they were diluting the Magic brand by parachuting in new products and licensed products that weren't thoroughly thought through or developed well, just to make some money. And I think it's alienated a lot of their long-term customers. And I think you've seen a lot of people move to some of these other games because they find them more fun to play and less of a money grab.
Rudy talked about that lawsuit, I think, like a month ago, maybe.
Yeah, I think they've like settled or something has happened since, but yeah.
But I was going to say it's interesting because of what that original statement you made. One Piece has taken the second spot of a collectible TCG, second to Pokemon. And it feels like Magic is fighting for that a little bit because they have these collector boxes, and yet they're pulling out all the stops trying to get there, right? The serialized cards, the expensive collector boxes, Universes Beyond formats all over the place. And then you look at something like Pokemon, and even One Piece for that matter, they don't have to do nothing. Like, yeah, I guess One Piece basically has a serialized card in some of the mangas without the serialization, right? Like by all speculation, those cards are just as rare as a serialized card. But Pokemon doesn't have to do any of that, and it doesn't make any difference. Everyone's just loving chasing the Charizard and now the Gengar and the Dragonite.
And Magic, sometimes we go places mentions this. Magic was always a game. That's what it was. But what we're seeing is they're doing all these other things to try to add that layer of collectability, doing the serialized and the expanded arts and all that stuff and the bonus sheets. And because they're pushing it out so much, and I don't think they're doing a great job with it, and they're bringing in IPs that have no relation to fantasy, medieval type, worlds, it's just really hurting their brand. And then in doing so, they hurt the player base too, right?
Yeah, and I think the issue with that as well is some of these franchises that you see them partner with, like for me included, you might get somebody in there buying that one set because they like Spider-Man or they were super into Avatar, but then they're done, right? They're not going to go buy Lorwyn the next set, right? They're just going to buy a bunch of Avatar and that's it. Or I know like two people trying to complete the Final Fantasy set. They don't care about Magic. They just like Final Fantasy, which is great for that set. But you're not building that long-term base who's sort of, believe in the game, believe in the lore behind it, all that kind of stuff. They did like a PlayStation crossover, and I had to have all the God of War cards for my personal collection, but like I didn't care about anything else. Like I don't know. I'm a collector. I want to collect the stuff I like, but I'm not, again, buying the new sets just to collect stuff I don't care about, stuff I'm not attached to. And Magic's kind of, they haven't roped people in consistently. They get like a new batch of people every time they do a crossover, and then they're gone. And then they try and find a new one, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
I am hoarding serialized cards, so I have about 10 now. I really believe in serialized Magic cards. So I'm speaking out of two sides of my mouth here. Because I think anything with a limited number on it, especially when it's a franchise like Magic, and especially when they do some crossovers, a decent bet.
It's a question that they need to, like, people at Magic and Hasbro need to ask themselves is like, what are we trying to do? Because if you're hurting your gameplay and your game formats and you're losing players, you either need to get back to basics of what made you popular for decades, right? And getting that player base back and into it, or you need to improve the collectability, which is, I think, what they're trying to do, but it doesn't seem to be working as much. At least it doesn't seem like it's sustainable.
Couple comments I noticed. Matt said Magic is struggling to rope in the youth. Pokemon is not, which makes sense. And then sometimes we go places says Magic isn't known as a collectible like Pokemon cards and other recent TCGs. They're a game first and foremost. I think that's the exact question that we're kind of bringing up here, is that Magic had this big following. They probably still do, by all accounts, have this big following of people who like to play the game, and they go do the drafts every week or every 2 weeks. But they're dipping their toes, and not really dipping their toes. They're kind of diving in head first into trying to gather some of this collectibles market and like really fighting for that second TCG spot. And it kind of feels like what Zach was saying, that they're not doing a very good job of it. They're kind of ruining what they had going for them. So now it's all this mess. And where does that leave them 5 years from now?
Yeah, where do they go from here, right? Like, they hinged on gameplay and the standard format for the most part, and that is not anywhere near as popular anymore. And they're all in on Commander, but they're alienating the people that play Commander too. It's and Pokemon started as a game first and foremost, right? That was kind of the point of the TCG, but because the brand itself had a "Gotta catch 'em all" slogan, I mean, that lends itself to collectability, right?
Well, this is a really naive question, but does a typical Magic set have like really fancy hollows in it, or is it just collector boxes?
Collector boxes for the most part.
You can get some for sure. But yeah, the top, like the serialized cards, those are usually collector boxes, and some of like the really nice showcase arts often are collector boxes. It varies from set to set though. It's not consistent every set.
Yeah.
Because like pretty early on, I mean, I was 10 years old and I definitely wanted the Charizard card, right? Pokemon had that inherent, I want to collect that. That looks awesome. And then the Gengar card from Fossil, and then like you just keep on going down the list, right? And I'm not sure that Magic ever had cards like that 20 years ago. I could be wrong, though. I'm not an expert.
I think people love the art because I mean the Magic cards truly were art.
Yeah,
like some of them were just absolutely beautiful pieces of art, whether they're paintings or drawings or what. And people love that. But there's a very specific theme to Magic, and that's kind of been lost the last few years for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But like we talk about collectability and stuff, but like all of these games rely on having a game that works and is played to take them through some of the rougher patches, right? Like One Piece is played pretty heavily now. People love playing One Piece. People do love playing Pokemon, and Desert City in town seems to have a great turnout for play nights for Pokemon.
Yep, for sure. Gudetama says Konami did the break glass in case of emergency move with Yu-Gi-Oh bringing in serialized plus full art cards.
I think serialized is the break glass move there. Full arts maybe not so much, but
I'm surprised that they did both in the same. Honestly,
I missed what you just said.
Doing both of those in the same set, introducing the expanded art or the overborder art, I forget what they're calling it exactly, and serialized, to me, that felt like, I don't know, a bit much, because I feel like they could have had awesome sales just by doing this, whatever you call them. I don't think they call them full arts. What do they call them?
They did have a different name. I don't remember, but
overborder or something. They look great. And they've added their own twist to it, right? So it does look uniquely Yu-Gi-Oh, which is really cool.
So maybe like bringing Pokemon back into the mix here with these companies fighting for the second spot. Like, do you think that they're aware of what's happening? I think they're obviously aware of what's happening, but do you think they're worried about what's happening? Like the rise of One Piece, maybe the rise of Lorcana, the Yu-Gi-Oh doing serialized cards, Magic really deflating their brand, or if you think that by putting these serialized cards out there in collector boxes, is Pokemon thinking to themselves 3 years into the future, what if such and such happens? Do we have to do serialized cards, or are they just full steam ahead with their current production model?
I mean, I think any good business is going to have those contingency plans, right? Like if X happens, if our numbers drop to this, what buttons do we need to push to be able to get back up to where we are? I think Pokemon's kind of in a luxurious spot, though, being number one and being so far ahead. They can kind of like sit on their little perch and watch all these other TCGs, try all these other different things and see what works, see what doesn't, see what, people get excited about. And just take notes and keep it in their back pocket. But I'm of the belief that if Pokemon ever goes to serialized cards, like that's desperation moment for them. That's them trying to, just draw a whole bunch of people back in, which they might eventually. But I still feel like we've got so many steps that Pokemon would need to hit before we ever got to serialized cards. Unless it's like, I don't know, something like those Bear Walker skateboards, you might have like a little serialized card in there or something. You're always going to see those little things, but to actually have like a set, like Perfect Order comes out and there's a 1 out of 500 Starmie, Mega Starmie in there, right? That's going to be, you know, desperation times for Pokemon where their sales are really struggling. But corporations operate in a way where they always need to increase year over year. And we're in a time of incredible growth for Pokemon the last couple of years. And it's almost certainly not always going to be like that. So just because Pokemon's doing okay doesn't mean their shareholders are going to be happy with that, and doesn't mean they're going to want to try and, you know, outdo the revenue they brought in from these last couple of years going into, you know, 27 and 28 when Pokemon may or may not slow down. So that's something to watch out for too. But I still think that's a panic button push.
I think they just have so many more avenues to make revenue that if the TCG is failing, that there's so many other places that they can make up revenue too, right?
I mean, you brought it up before, Colin. Like, just do a 151 set of all like the full like the illustration, right? Like they do with black and white, right? Push that button once, or like I don't know. Just there's so many different things they can do that we'd all die for and love. Even the little 151 figures that we showed, like we're all freaking out over stuff like that. Like put exclusive cards in with figures that are blind bot. I don't know. It's endless. It's endless before they get to serialized cards.
Yeah,
And they've
when you
shown
put
that
it
they
like
can
that,
work through it.
there's so many different things they can do before serialization that it's going to bring a wave of people back in for sure.
And the TCG stuff, they've shown that they can happily ratchet down production and survive fine through a few, you know, slow years.
We haven't really covered that, but the undercurrent of Pokemon is that they have video games, they have TV show, they have, I don't even know what else, a million different things going on that One Piece doesn't really have. Lorcana kind of has, I guess, like with the Disney brand. I don't really know how Disney operates that. Magic certainly doesn't have that, to my knowledge anyways.
No. Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, we should actually give this a little bit of attention. That stash has its own riz for sure.
Facts? Yeah, I agree.
Please. I could never grow something like that.
I said it before. It's because I can't grow the beard. I need something. At my old job, before I did that, well, 2 jobs ago, I was not allowed to grow a beard. So this was my exception. They did allow mustaches. And here we are. 5 years later, hasn't gone away. Now my kids wouldn't recognize me if I shaved it. So it's got to stay. This feels
but it looks like you're fairly clean shaven today too. So it's like, it's looking awfully fresh.
I actually used a regular razor for the first time in, God, probably 5 years, because I was halfway through using my electric razor and it died, and it does not run plugged in. I got to wait like a full day to charge it. So I stood there for 30 minutes because I had way too much facial hair trying to slowly chop away. That was a miserable experience.
For those of you listening on the podcast right now, you got to come watch this on YouTube to see the mustache in its full glory.
You haven't seen it. There it is. It's not going anywhere either. It's part of the brand now. It's too important to get rid of.
The only way for them to increase revenue is to print more, really. The stuff sells immediately, and that's it. They don't even need a warehouse at this point. Print and ship.
It's not going to last forever, though.
No.
Last year, Magic couldn't sit on shelves here. Pokemon was. Now Pokemon isn't, and Magic is flip-flopped. Lorcana never moves anywhere here. It feels like Ravensburg has really hit a new wave of something with the new sets. Like Fabled is doing really, really well. What's the latest one called? Winter Spell or something like that? I don't remember exactly, but it definitely seems like they've
Whispers
turned
in
the corner.
the Well, I think, is the new one.
Which one?
Whispers in the Well, I think, is the new one.
That could be.
Fabled was cool. I think they're making some of the right incremental steps from at least a collectability standpoint, with different tiers and making the opening a little bit better.
Yeah.
And it sounds like, just seeing some of the YouTube creators that own TCG shops in the States, that Lorcana is doing some good things to promote the player base and support the player base. So it sounds like they're taking some of the right steps to keep their game alive. But yeah, it's still low on the end of collectability unless you look at those iconics.
Yeah, I think Lorcana, like from what I know about distribution, is you have to be a full play store. Like you can't get distribution and just sell out of a TCG store. You need to have a play area. You need to be like a dedicated, like not Lorcana specifically, but you need that area. You need to give them time. You need to host tournaments, all that kind of stuff to be able to get distribution. So they are really focusing on the players in that game.
Yeah. And what else? Riftbound was the other one I saw in the chat. I don't remember who said it, but
I think it was Matt.
Was it? And I mean, set number 1 was super popular. I haven't really heard much rumbling about set number 2. You texted me the day it came out, and I went and bought a box of it. And honestly, I have opened 2 sleeved packs of it from GameStop when I went there one day randomly to buy a video game, and it was super fun actually. Like the opening experience is more like a One Piece than a Pokemon for me, which I like. I've been full up honest. One Piece is the best opening experience out of a TCG I've ever opened. It's super fun. It feels super premium. And the only reason I like Pokemon better is because of the whole thing we've been talking about, nostalgia. And I feel so connected to having a Pokemon partner sitting beside me, and always the dream of being a Pokemon trainer, catching them all, right? Like it's not that Pokemon cards are the best quality. It's not that Pokemon cards is the best opening experience, but I'm so tied and connected to Pokemon.
Do you think it's a little bit of, I don't know, just jadedness being in the hobby for a long time, that the Pokemon opening experience isn't, what you feel like it should be as compared to One Piece or like Riftbound? Because, I've had young kids open packs in front of me and they love and look at each card. I've had new collectors open it and admire the artwork on all the commons and uncommons and be like, oh, I need this for my binder. And it's just like a regular non-holo. Like it seems like people who don't have that same, again, jadedness that we might have just from seeing the same cards over and over and over again, maybe feel a little bit differently about that opening experience. And now you get 3 holos per pack and then often a full art.
True. It's true. Yeah, I think you're probably bang on. And don't get me wrong, like if you give me Pokemon packs to open, I love every second of it, right? Like after a Thursday night, after I've opened 200 or 300 packs, I could easily, other than the fact that I'm tired and I have to get ready for work the next day, I could keep going for another 3 hours. I love opening Pokemon. So it's probably the jadedness, and also I haven't opened much One Piece, but the cards just feel so good. There is something about it that the cards feel really premium. But it
feels, the card stock's a bit thicker, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it feels like some of just the lower end cards, though, there's a little more effort put in terms of texturing and foiling.
Yeah, that could be.
But sorting through Pokemon bulk, I'm like, whenever I'm going through bulk, I'm like, oh, this card's sick. This artwork's sick. And it's just a regular non-holo card.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like One Piece art takes up more of the card, which I think is part of it too. Thicker card stock. I think the texturing and some of the gold foiling they do looks really sharp. And the artworks all feel pretty original. Riftbound's not quite the same because I think they took some of the art from Runeterra. I didn't play Runeterra, but that's what it sounds like. But the over-number cards, like the chases in Riftbound, the prices are holding really well for the most part with the desirable characters in their over numbers, which is good. But Riftbound's suffering from the issue of not having enough stock when the game launched. People couldn't get their hands on cards, and the hype kind of passed because they couldn't get hands on cards to play. And so now stores are suffering a bit with that. And now the second set has come out, and stores got a whole bunch more, right? Because Riftbound maybe ramped up and did some extra production to get those sets 2 out, but they didn't have a player base. Player base started falling off really quick because it was down to 2 decks at the start, Master Yi and Kaisa. If you didn't have those decks, you weren't competitive, and stores weren't running games or formats where it didn't really matter what deck you had. It was all based on sort of how you performed, wins and losses. And so now stores are trying to find creative ways to encourage players to come play and try to reward them for using off-brand decks or things like that. So maybe you get a promo or you get a prize just for showing up, as opposed to having to place on the top 4, things like that. But that's where Riftbound's suffering right now, is trying to capitalize and grow their player base.
Interesting. Snackbread said 1,000% towards the jadedness of people who open hundreds, let alone thousands of packs a week. Yeah, I mean, there's no question about it. my one defense of what I'm trying to say is that if you haven't heard, I am a huge Disney fan. Me and my wife go to Disneyland every year for our vacation. Like, I just love everything about Disney, and Lorcana just does not hit for me. I want to like it so much because some of the characters I absolutely love. I'm a total Disney nerd, and yet this card game just doesn't do it because the opening experience is not very good. Whereas One Piece, I have zero ties to, and the opening experience is really, really fun. And Pokemon is really, really fun. I'm probably a little bit jaded, but it just reaches such a peak level because, Charizard. Like that's the reason. So, one more comment here. We love ripping packs of Pokemon, but as far as pack opening experience, it doesn't compare to Bandai products. One Piece and Dragon Ball Fusion World is on another level. I've never opened Dragon Ball Fusion World, so
They're pretty cool.
I could see that.
Dijon said he bought Naruto. I don't know anything about Naruto cards.
Yeah, neither do I.
I didn't even know it was a game.
One on eBay because it was the promo that they gave in the PSA magazine, and that's about it.
Right.
I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was like
What
30
did
or
it
40
look like?
bucks at the time. I don't know. It was just a normal card with a Naruto character on it.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was like
First
4 to
Naruto
6
character
months
I've
ago,
ever seen.
probably.
Yeah, a little bit ago for sure.
Yeah.
They've given some cool stuff in the magazine. We got a V Friends card once. There was like I don't know, it was like a boxing card or something. There's been some cool stuff.
How often do they do a card?
In the magazine, maybe once every 3 or 4 months.
It's got to be every 3 or 4 months now, yeah.
Yeah.
I've probably missed a couple early on, to be honest with you.
I received one magazine in 6 months since having a PSA thing.
It's every month. So if you're not getting it every month and you have a sub, go figure something out there because they're cool magazines to start. And yeah, you usually get a promo card. And those One Piece ones, like they did 2 last year, they paid for your subscription if you sold money.
For sure they did. Like the one was worth $300.
Yeah.
Colin, you still have yours, don't you?
I gave them to Kevin to list, so I don't know where they are, but
they're gone.
Yeah,
I haven't seen a sale for them on eBay, but you never know.
So, audit your employees. Trust but verify.
Maybe smoked them.
Yeah. Pray to Arceus says, what do you guys think about Obsidian Flames PC ETB over 2 to 3 years?
I don't know, but I ripped the one I bought off Colin.
And that was a bad decision.
It was damaged. It was damaged already, which Colin gave me a good price, and it was right before it took off.
You're going for the promo for the set, or?
Yeah, I already had one, but I wanted another. I got really greedy, and it did not get a 10. In fact, I didn't send it because it had whiting on it out of the pack.
Tragic.
I'm sure it'll do well. Charmander promo.
I think a PC ATB for any set, even Shrouded Fable, is a safe bet over a long enough time. Right? It's what we were talking about with Costco. It's a limited product. You can only get it from one place. They're not presumably reprinting them. I think the old stock that you see is just that. I think it's old stock that they list. Yeah, just no brainer. Exclusive promo. Like people love stamps. They have since the beginning of Pokemon. So throw a stamp on there and it's game over. So yeah, Obsidian, it'll be right near the top. It'll be, right up there with the 151s, maybe not as high, but right up there with Ascended eventually will be up there too. Prismatic. Like if you got a good promo like that Charmander, it's game over. It's going nuts eventually.
What about the Sword and Shield PC ETBs?
They'll have weight just because they're a unique rare product, but I think that promo is going to forever carry the Scarlet and Violet and Mega ones. You'll always see, it won't compute if people don't know, if they don't know what they're looking at, why the Sword and Shield ones are so much less expensive than the Scarlet and Violet ones eventually. And you might have some uninformed buyers buying some Sword and Shield ones that they think are cheap, but there's a reason. And it's that promo. Unless you really like pins or unique coins or unique sleeves.
Were there pins in those?
The Lost Origin one had a Giratina pin. That might have been the only one.
Okay.
And it was exclusive to that one.
Otherwise, it was extra packs, right?
One extra pack, and then usually they had a unique sleeve as well.
Yeah.
And then Fusion Strike and Silver Tempest had 2 unique sleeves, I think, for some reason. But
did they?
Yeah. Silver Tempest had the Lugia and then a different Vulpix. And I only know this because I listed to them on eBay. And then Fusion Strike had a Mew, but a different, like a blue background Mew, and then the Genesect sleeves as well. And then a coin. It had like a big coin that kind of looks like that 151 UPC coin. Anyways.
Ironically, the Pokemon Center stamped promos have not done very well for me lately. For a time, they were super, super hot, and now I've been stuck holding the bag on a few of them.
They shows or just in general on eBay?
At shows for the most part.
They don't move very well at shows for me. It's an eBay sale for sure. But they go up and down. They have their little waves. They get a bunch of hype, and then they calm right down, and then they do it again. It's done that like 3 times. I sold a Snorlax from 151 today, but beyond that, yeah, I don't sell like a crazy amount. Maybe 1 a week, maybe, if that.
I mean, that's not bad. But
almost never see them.
They don't come around shows very much. Yeah, they turn up here and there, but not a ton. Especially the old ones. Like I think I got an Alakazam and a Riolu like a week or 2 ago. But I never see like the Charmanders, the Snorlaxes anymore. Any of those. They just don't turn up. Even like I see a little bit of like the Maridans and Koridans. But yeah, like the cool ones from early Scarlet and Violet, nobody's letting go of those at this point, it seems like.
Did you guys see the video of the was it a basketball game where they gave out One Piece cards? You know how One Piece has done sports themed ones for specific teams and stuff. It was at what was it, a Houston basketball game or something? And the scalpers were standing outside waiting for people to leave the arena after the game with cash and like standing in their face saying, "Give me your card, $120. Give me your card." Did you see that?
I did. That doesn't. I don't know. I don't have an issue with that. Like, that's a win for the people walking out of there who don't want to take the time to sell the card. And from what I read, those people were making like what 3-4x times or 3 or 4x on their card. So no brainer for sure. It's a win-win. That's fine.
Well, I don't want to walk out of, you know how you're crowded and like crammed like a sardine trying to get over an arena, and as soon as like you get fresh air, someone's got their fist in your face saying, "Give me your One Piece card." It's just no, get the hell out of my face.
That's angry Zach talking. But if you get handed a card and you don't care about it, and you step outside the arena and somebody's like, "Here's a crisp $100 bill for this dumb piece of cardboard that you don't like," would that not make your day after the game?
That's fine.
Yeah.
If you're standing outside saying, "Hey, I'm buying the cards for $100 or something," people can walk up to you and be like, "Here you go," as opposed to as soon as they walk out the door, you're trying to punch them in the face with $100, saying, "Give me your card."
I didn't watch any videos that were that bad. I just watched some people yelling like they were selling concert tickets, and I think that's fine. That's just capitalism, baby.
Oh yeah, the one I saw was crazy. Like one dude was just pulling them out of people's hands as they walked out the door.
Really?
It's like, "Here's the money. Here's the money. Here's the money." And like some ladies were like, "Get out of my face." It was crazy.
How have I not heard about this yet? Where have I been?
But yeah, like
I want Pokemon to do that just for the content.
If it was me, I would just go in early. I would buy a ticket to the game. I would be inside with a sign that just says, "Hey, I'm buying that free card you just got. I'll give you $100 for it." And as people walk in and receive the card, I'll just give them the cash and buy the card. I'm not going to camp out the stadium waiting for it to end and then jumping in people's faces, fighting one another, trying to buy the cards. That was the other thing. There's like 10 of them doing it.
Young Ty also commented that they're out of line. So the video I saw was a relatively polite scalper just offering $100 to buy the card. So definitely did not watch.
That wasn't this for sure.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. First video was respectful. Second was straight up scumbags jamming the front door.
Well, Possum Blood did a video, so maybe people can go watch that one.
Huh.
Yeah, the one I saw was, and it was the dude filming himself doing it. And it was like, "Dude, you look like a loser. I would not be filming this."
Pokemon did the Rain
City, but which was that?
It was at a was a Portland game, Trailblazers game or something, or was it a Seattle game? I don't know if it's the same type of promo though, like the same type of promotion that they did. I'm not going to speak on it because I'm naive to it. I do remember when that was happening, but I don't know if it was handed out individually at a game or if it was at like a conference or something.
I don't remember the Rain City Pikachu. Was it maybe an Expo?
It was, I think, a card with a stamp that we already know.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
It's just like the Paldea Pikachu with a stamp on it.
So is that some sort of event or a conference? So I don't think it was like handed out at a stadium in the way that this One Piece card was, where everybody got one as they walked in. I don't know if it was that same situation.
Right.
It wasn't NBA
they only made like 2,000 of those as well. So I'm not sure what that was for.
People are doing the exact same thing. Pokemon Worlds event for championship cards and swag. Yeah, that's right. There's always people looking to make a quick buck.
Yeah, it's different if it's like a Pokemon-centric event and you're trying to like scalp Pokemon to people who know Pokemon or buy at a discount. I think that's harder to do. But if you're going to an NBA game where 85-90% of people have never heard about One Piece that are going to that stadium, like whatever, it's a win-win. Again, if they're polite, I think that's a non-issue. And it would be chaos if that same promo happened with Pokemon, especially now in 2026. Like, it would be unbelievable. I do really want to see it though. I really, really want to see it. And I hope Pokemon makes it happen. I'll look more into the Rain City thing, but I mean, I feel like if it was a similar promo, we would have heard a lot more stories or a similar giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
They would cancel the NBA game if Pokemon did that.
For real.
There'd be fights.
There'd be fights left, right, and center.
Yeah.
I mean, there was fights at the museum in Amsterdam for the Van Gogh Pikachu.
Right? That's probably the closest thing to it, right?
I guess. Yeah, you're probably right.
That's a good comparison.
It's
crazy how much that card is worth. Anything else? We're kind of we've been talking about a lot of different TCGs, not really Pokemon related tonight, but thanks for joining us, everyone. If you have anything to say in the chat, hit us up. Otherwise, we got like 15 minutes left maximum.
There's no good Pokemon news. Pokemon's dead, guys.
Yeah. Bumpy roads ahead. That was the title of today's live stream. So.
There was some pictures of those first 30th celebration starter cards that I saw, or some videos of it. Those look pretty sick.
They look really good.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of them out there. So don't panic. Don't FOMO on buying the singles.
I'm getting a good amount of them.
Yeah, and there's only 9 total in the first set, in the first product that comes out, and there's 3 packs in there. Like, I don't know. There's going to be a lot of them out there.
Okay, here's my question though. If there's going to be a lot of them out of there, I don't want to say my number, but if you have 9 starter Pokemon, isn't the one pack just a single card in there? Like, I think you get a Phantasmal Flames and a Mega Evolution pack based on the pictures. And then the middle pack of cards is just a single, like a blind opening of one of the 9 starters.
So I thought it was 3 starters.
Maybe it's
even
3.
Still, with only 9, like theoretically, unless they make Charmander super rare or something like that, theoretically, you only need to open 9 to complete the set, right, on average. So, I mean, they're not going to be that
9
crazy.
Per person, like that takes. Someone needs 9 boxes rather than 1 box. You know what
I mean? Okay. I just don't think you need to FOMO too hard on that.
I'm not trying to shill or FOMO, enforce FOMO, but I'm just thinking through the numbers because
it's 3.
Someone who needs a promo card.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
One set of 3
3 packs and you're theoretically completing the set.
So 3 boxes, not 9.
Yeah.
That's much better.
PokeBeach says it's 3, so you get one of the 3. Yeah, because it's like what they did with the first partner pack for 25th, right? It was just they were jumbos. You bought the Kanto pack, you got the 3 Kanto starters in jumbo form with the booster pack.
Yeah.
Can I also add that on a previous podcast, I had said I would bet my mortgage if they did the Pokemon stamp with the 3-0 instead of the 2-5. And I was right, because those cards have the dumb Pokemon stamp with the 3-0 instead of a 2-5, or the Pikachu stamp. So I'm assuming the rest of the celebrations cards will be like that as well for the 30th anniversary. And I also don't have to
road ahead for sure. Bumpy road ahead then, for sure. if you got that dumb stamp on there.
Yeah. How do you guys decide when you're vending that you are no longer taking in cards that are lower than a certain dollar amount, or do you just keep taking in as many as you can when you're starting?
Well, take in what's reasonable to your budget, right? You don't need to buy every single thing that comes by your table. But the more of an open buyer you are, the more product you're going to get. And then just set a dollar amount. Like we've talked about this. I don't take regular EXs or Vs or what have you. I just buy that in bulk typically. So anything full art or better I'll buy. But set your budget. You don't need to buy any and everything that comes by your table.
Depends how you sell them too.
Yeah.
You could buy a V or an EX, you know, and offer 25 cents a pop or something if you can put them in a binder at your table at $1 or $2 each. Like that's fine. But if you're selling on eBay, you can't buy the Vs or EXs. Probably not even on TCG Player either in the States, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, all of us kind of have, you know, we have similar avenues. We cross over a lot, but we all do different things as well too. And that dictates kind of what we focus on, what we buy, what percentages we pay. So, you know, if vending's your only way of doing things, then you're going to have to math out what makes sense. You're going to have to take notes and see what sells, you know, show to show, see what cards people are asking for and judge it based off that. But if you're like us, where we bring a lot of our product to eBay or sell in different avenues, then that's going to inform what you buy as well. Right. It's different for you. It's everybody's a little bit different depending on where they sell their cards.
Yeah.
Like
The thing
Blake,
I'd
you're
say,
probably just go ahead.
Like the thing that was maybe not concerning it, but eye-catching is as you're starting out, well, then maybe don't buy so many V or EX cards. Like focus on some stuff that's really easy to move, and when you're starting out, you're just trying to churn and burn and trade and make your 20% accumulated over 30 trades each time to grow your table or grow your business. But as you start to grow and have a little bit more of a budget, then when opportunities come to sell those cards at $1 or $2, like Blake said, and you buy them at 25 cents or whoever, which one of you said that, like, I don't turn away EX cards. I mean, if someone just brings me one EX card and asks me to pay for it, I say no, thank you. But if it's just part of a binder that they want to get rid of, I'll take it. So,
oh yeah, for sure. Like I sell that on eBay, but I'm not, like you said, I'm not. If somebody's coming to me with just EX cards as a stack, that's not something I buy. But also, if you're new to vending, I think my advice, which I wish I kind of had a little bit more of, was take a few risks if you're not, you know, stretching yourself too thin. Like when your first couple shows, if $1,000 card is crazy for you, but you're getting a good deal on it, buy that card if you're confident in it. Only you can decide that. And then it's a percentage game, right? So if you make 20% on that card, all of a sudden you have so much more money to play with. Whereas if you're making 30% on a $10 card, you know, yeah, you technically did better percentage wise, but that $3 isn't going to get you very far, right? So have a little bit of fun, take some risks, pick up one or two bigger cards, stretch yourself a little bit. It could backfire for sure. So you gotta weigh what your risk tolerance is there. But that's how you're going to start accelerating too, right? You start getting that $200 profit, $300, $400, and you reinvest that. You know, you can buy some people's full binders of illustration rares or whatever, like cheaper ones for, you know, $400 or $500. And then that sets up your table, you know, for the next show. It all snowballs, but it starts with having a couple really nice big wins, and you got to get uncomfortable to find those wins too.
100%.
Further to that, like, start with what you know at your table. Like you probably have collected stuff that you like. So sell the stuff that you like at your table. And then in terms of the taking risks, not only the higher dollar amount, but then try to venture out into other areas that you're not familiar with, like here and there, take a step into this forest that's, you know, mid-era stuff, like mid-era EXs that might take a bit longer to comp, or old WotC vintage stuff. You know, start delving into these other areas and you'll expand your knowledge a lot more. You'll make some mistakes along the way, but that'll also open up the opportunities for what you could buy by having a bunch of different stuff at your table, as we talked about before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good stuff.
And also, I mean, Colin's talked about this a lot. Focus on the stuff that you want to be known for as well, too, right? Like Colin's been focusing on getting more into mid-era and vintage, and now he's getting those binders sold to him and those collections sold to him because he's got it at his table and people know he's familiar with it. So if there's, like Zach said, if there's a direction that you want to go into, hone in on that a little bit. Don't make your whole case that, but, you know, target that. Don't pick everything. Just pick, like, maybe I want to really focus on XY for my next show and start building a section of that case. Then get a little bit in your case, find some deals on Marketplace or whatever for the next show, get it in your case. And you'll see at that show, you'll get a few people being like, oh, they have that full art. I got some too. Maybe they'll trade. Maybe I can make a deal. And then it kind of grows from there.
Yeah. The other thing, starting out, I'm just thinking, because my buddy Josh is, by all accounts, starting out. I mean, he has a couple $1,000s worth of stuff, but he's still starting out in comparison to the three of us. And I always talk to him about, you don't want to oversaturate yourself. If you have $3,000 at your table, you don't want to spread yourself too thin by having a $1,500 card if your whole collection is worth $3,000. That doesn't make any sense. You want to like gradually go up. Now that my case is worth like $20,000 or $30,000, well, yeah, I do have a couple cards that are worth $1,000 or $2,000, right? But I made that by, when I had $2,000 worth of cards, I had a lot of $20 cards. And then when I went to $30,000 in my display, well, now I have some $30 cards, maybe $100 or $200 cards in there. Like, it's a nice little spread of a few big ones, and then slowly it works its way down. And that's my strategy anyways, because if you buy that $1,500 card and it's worth 50% of your table, well, what happens if you don't sell it for 3 shows? It's just dead money. I want to always be moving. Moving money is making money, in my opinion. So that's my general strategy.
Yeah, and I think that's where the risk tolerance comes in. And you're right. You don't want, if you're at $3,000 and that's your case, you don't want two $1,500 cards in there, and then you're only sitting at a table with 2 cards in your case. But if you have the ability and capacity to do it, I think the quicker you can get, some bigger cards in there to attract those eyeballs, I think that'll help you grow quicker if that's your goal. If you want to take it at a slow pace, which actually I think all of us went, relatively slow-ish. Like, we didn't have huge jump ups each show. It sort of happened over a few shows. That's an option too. It just sort of depends on how quickly you want to grow.
And it's still happening, I think, for all of us. Every time I see your table, Blake, every show we go to, I see your table, and it's like, dang, bro, you are leveling up. MoffDawg, same thing. Dang, bro, you are leveling up. And I think you could say the same thing about my table too. Like, we're all just consistently rising. And I think that's actually where we're winning the most, is not one-offs. It is the continual exponential growth, because as you get the snowball going down the hill, as we all know the analogy, it starts to become a lot easier to keep pushing.
And do the work in between the shows too. We all do this. Everybody on this call, Matt in the chat, we're all hunting for stuff. We're all looking for stuff to add to our case. Like, it's not just shows, right? If that's your goal, if shows are your goal, that's fine. But, start hunting. It doesn't need to be on Facebook Marketplace. Like, start making conversations, start talking to friends, find some deals in between shows, flesh out your case, make some sales in between shows too. Like, we all get people reaching out to us, asking us for cards, sending us emails, texting us, and then just, put in the work. And then at the next show, it's going to look drastically different. Then you put in the work between shows again, it's going to look way different the next show. So you got to kind of fill in the gaps in between as well too, I think.
Apparently we all like talking about vending, because we just went on 10 or 15 minute rant about it. One question. Thanks for the question, Kenny.
DJ, you're late.
Super late. We're just about to sign off. I'm going to just show off a little bit. Are
you going to wear the Master Chief helmet ever? Come on, Colin.
It's from the Halo 3 Legendary Collection, and you can't wear it. I wish I could.
Bummer.
I had no idea that this card was so much money. I just picked it up this week.
The Japanese one?
Yeah. It's got the graves on it.
Yeah.
And they took the graves
band, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a pretty sweet card.
Where'd you get it?
A guy in Kamloops messaged me with a Gengar collection.
Oh, wow.
The dream message.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, yes, I can come tonight. I can.
Do you
come
buy
right
Gengars?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool. Kind of cool to see. And one more. When did I do this? Oh, on Thursday. No, Friday. I had 1 pack of Black Bolt sitting around from after the live stream, and
shut up.
Seriously.
Rigged.
Only one pack. I opened one pack last week for myself, and that was it.
You shouldn't be showing this in public. The one that happens to not be shown on stream.
Yeah,
I'm kidding, Colin.
Should have kept it
kidding.
offline, Colin.
Sorry.
Hey, can I show off?
Yeah.
I got
Please.
this like a couple months ago, but now it's relevant with Pocopia. It's a sweet Ditto Mew plush, and I think it's
That is awesome.
I was going to ask about that. Where is it from?
Pokemon Center.
Japan or?
No. It was online
Really?
in North America for a while. Yeah. Oh, and then these two. This is how I got some of my promo cards. Now that I have a desk, I can show you. I got the Pikachu and the Eevee little figures for the Van Gogh drop. It's always fun to dig some stuff out of boxes when you're setting up a new desk.
Are you going to level it up for next week?
I have a lot of work to do in this area itself, so this is last priority is the computer desk.
Fair.
But maybe we'll see.
Zach, what are you going to show off? You have to do something.
I don't have anything to show off because none of it's here. So what do I have sitting on my desk?
Bulk.
Here.
Show me a reverse
Couple
hollow.
bulk slabs. There you go.
Okay.
Damn. Junk.
That's all I got. Chunk slabs on my desk. That's all I got. I got an Ultra Ball and a 9. I'm going to crack.
Yuck.
That is nice.
I've never cracked a CGC slab, though. Do I just throw it at the wall? How do I?
Yeah. And film it.
Concrete
It's
wall.
content. It's all content.
Okay, that's going to do it for the Poke Office Syndicate on March 10th. Welcome, everyone, again. Thank you for being here. I don't know why I said welcome. I'm an idiot. Typical. Blake, thanks for being here. MoffDawg, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Next week, I'm not in town, so we're going to have a week off. Unless you guys want to go live on my channel without me.
I can't go a week without seeing Blake's mustache, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It's actually not even going to be live. Zach and I are just going to do a private live stream.
You're probably going to a couple beers with the boys, pints with the boys. That means we'll be back live the week of Perfect Order, the 24th. So there will be lots to talk about then, hopefully. Come join me on the live stream one more time because this is the last live stream of the week for me until a couple weeks from now, till Perfect Order. And go check out Blakestoise and MoffDawg TCG on eBay. Get your singles, especially in Canada. The Poke Office has Perfect Order available for pre-order. Has my prismatic hoodies and t-shirts available for pre-order. All the different things happening. And that's it. Appreciate y'all being here, and we will see you in a couple weeks. Peace.